Curle and Natalie Pike.
And City have done it. A battling performance in Nottingham today has seen City win 2-0. We are back to just a point below Arsenal, but of course with that game in hand. You can see the scenes now. This is live from the Forest ground. That man, Erling Haaland, he only needed one shot, one goal. Perfect from him. Andy, that was not a vintage City performance, but still a battling City performance.
Yeah, it was. They showed great character because it was a really tough afternoon. You know, maybe 3 or 4 players not quite up to pace, slightly off it, and I thought Forest were excellent. But the second goal, you know, after that really put the game to bed. And, you know, although Forest started the second half really well, you know, had a couple of half chances, I thought Kovacic really sort of netted up, you know, and just secured the midfield and just give us an extra pass before we actually went forward. And like I say, once the second goal went in, it really was a case of keeping the ball and seeing the game out. But a really tough afternoon, and we've seen it through with 3 points and move on very quickly.
Absolutely. We take the points, we take the positives from the game, and we'll take the points. Look at the scenes there on the pitch, Keith. Grealish and Walker hugging. They know what this win means.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I think it's the end of a very, very busy month. And to come out of it with the type of win, the last 2 games, Brighton and Forest, difficult games, difficult away games, difficult teams that you're playing against, because on their day, both of those teams have upset a lot of teams in this division. So again, difficult encounter. Again, like Andy just touched on then, a few players not at the levels that they require and they expect. Probably the analyst, if he's assessing the game, that's got to be the most turnovers of possession in the final third that City have done for a very, very long time. But you've got to give Forest credit, and make no mistake, they're fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
They're fighting for their professional careers to stay in the Premier League.
They are fighting, and they did show some fight today. We're going to go back now over live to pitch side with FG and to Paul Dickov.
Full time from the City ground, Manchester City 2-0 winners. These are live scenes, you can see what's happened. The game's just finished. Paul, your thoughts on the performance?
Yeah, a little bit lucky, a couple of chances I missed, but we'll take that. You know, I thought we were brilliant against Brighton the other night there, but clean sheet, 2 goals, 3 points, that's all that matters, job done.
A clean sheet, 2 goals, and the first goal was a goal from a corner, which we've not seen too much of in recent times. A great header, but you picked something out in there that you're going to tell people on MatchDay Live.
Yeah, no, Andy and Keith Curle will be going mad in the studio being defenders. You know, Nico Williams goes down, he's done his hamstring. We've got a corner, it's pretty obvious he can't come back on the pitch. Why they've left him with 9 men to defend a set piece, I'll never know. And Nico Williams was in that near post space, so he's off the pitch, nobody's taking that position. But great ball in and fantastic header from Gvardiol.
It was a fantastic header indeed from Gvardiol. And the second goal, of course, we love the Kevin De Bruyne to Erling Haaland. As we see the players going over to the away support, let's have a word on them, shall we, the away fans. Let's have a word on the away fans today. They were absolutely fantastic, weren't they?
As they are again, you know, just not stopped singing from start to finish. You can see them in the background there, spurring the team on, as they were at Brighton, as they are every single game.
Well, absolutely, and they will fully deserve that, and they'll be absolutely happy with that. The second goal, Kevin De Bruyne to Erling Haaland, looks like he's never left, as you hear the City fans singing his name right now.
Yeah, we've seen that combination a few times already, haven't we? But great to see Ellie back in the pitch. Good for him to get minutes. And I thought he looked sharp when he came on. So maybe that little bit of niggle that he's had, little bit of rest, is going to be sharp as for the rest of the season now. And great ball by Kevin. Great touch. Normally takes it in his left foot, but done the defender, dragged it onto his right, and great little slot in the corner. It was a great slot in the corner. And listen, let's have a word on Nathan Akanji, shall we? Because they were fantastic. I'm gutted he didn't score today.
Well, you got one of the defenders right, which is good. And also Stefan Ortega coming on for Edison. We hope, obviously, his injury's not too bad, but Stefan never lets us down, does he?
He's a top-class goalkeeper. We all know that. You know, we're so lucky to have 2 goalkeepers that we've got at the club. You know, disappointing for Edison getting injured. I'm blaming Mark over there behind the camera because he's been to 3 away games and we've had to change the goalkeeper 3 times.
Well, we got the win today, Mark, so you're definitely welcome back. The City fans are currently singing Kevin's name as he goes over on his own to the away supporters. I mean, we don't need any words for Kevin De Bruyne, do we?
No, he's fantastic. You know, I thought a few of the players looked a little bit leggy today after Thursday night, you know, and got to give Forest a bit of credit. They did cause us a few problems, but you know, that's what champions do. You know, you get the job done. When you're not at your best, you come away to places like this at the end of the season. Clean sheet, 3 points. Let's move on to next week now.
Let's move on indeed. Happy Sunday, everyone. Manchester City still in their hands. Great away performance. Let's head back to the studio.
Thank you so much to FG and to Paul Dickov. So this is what the table currently looks like. Arsenal have played 35, 80 points. City have played 34, 79 points, and then Liverpool on 35 games, 75. So Liverpool 4 points below us, Arsenal just a point above, but of course we have a game in hand on both of them. That game in hand is an away game to Spurs. That is the second last game of the season, so we will play that midweek. Next week we take on Wolves. That is a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Arsenal play Bournemouth at 12:30. So it's neck and neck and neck. The following week after that, you can see we play Fulham on the Saturday. Arsenal play Manchester United on the Sunday. Oh gosh, that's one of them days, Keith, when I'm going to want a Manchester United win and I'm going to have to go home and scrub myself silly in the shower to stop feeling so horrible after saying that out loud. But the table, very, very close. So that today was Manchester City's 19th Premier League game in a row where we have not been beaten. That goes all the way back to December's game at Villa Park when we were beaten by Aston Villa, and since then, nobody's beat us in the Premier League. City have a real knack of going on these mad, crazy runs. But I want to talk about that second half, in particular that goal from Erling Haaland. Before we talk about the goal, though, Keith, can we talk about the substitution? Because you were both talking, you both called the substitution of bringing Haaland on. Why did you feel at that moment we needed to bring him on?
We needed a focal point because as well as City keep possession of the ball, sometimes when you look forward, sometimes you need a physical presence that you can hit. But then also with Erling, he has got pace, so he's a threat. But it's the ability then of when you break lines with that pass, his movement, he knows, like the relationship with him and Kevin, he knows where he wants the ball, he knows how he wants the ball delivered, and again, Kevin knows the runs that he needs to make. So again, and he's not a sub, he's a game changer, isn't he? He's came on, he's changed the game, because as soon as the second goal goes in, it's a different mindset, a different mentality.
And then, of course, the goal, as Keith says, another assist, second assist today by Kevin De Bruyne. I think they said, Ali Man said it was the 18th or 19th. I'm going to go 18th assisted goal from Kevin De Bruyne to Erling Haaland in the 2 years, not even 2 years that Erling's been with us. Talk us through the goal, Andy, in terms of how good the movement was from Kevin to pick up the ball, how good his ball was to Erling, and then Erling's finish. Yeah,
I mean, I'd pick up something that Keith said about an actual threat in behind. So what that does is it just the centre halves for Forest just drop another 2 or 3 yards. You know, with Alvarez, who was coming short into little pockets, and they just compact the area. But if you look at the space that Kevin De Bruyne found, it was one of the first times in the game where it seemed to be that he was able to get on the half turn and then play a forward pass on the next phase of the play. And that's because the centre halves have been pushed back. And when it's so tight in the margins, a couple of yards create that space, and De Bruyne has got on the half turn, and then it's a timing of the pass, and then I'm so pleased because he's had a couple of games rest, and I think that's physically as well as emotionally and mentally to recharge. And there was a big smile on his face, and when he scored the goal as well, and everything that he did in the rest of the game was meticulous. If you look at his stats when he had the ball, he never gave the ball away once in the game. He kept it, he moved it, he passed, he caused them a problem, he pushed them back, and we saw the game out brilliant, and that'll be massive for the next 4 games.
And with the greatest respect to Chris Wood, who had some good chances in that game, he didn't put any of them away. Erling Haaland comes on and shows what a world-class striker does. One shot, he scored. Yeah, and it was clever the way he's moved the ball. The centre half perhaps maybe was slightly out with a little knock that he had before, and maybe he shouldn't have been on. But he's actually shown in the left-hand side, and he's dragged it across. And the movement then, the keeper's dead. The keeper can't react, and it's just almost a pass into the corner, and the keeper can't get near. And it's a brilliant finish. And we're looking at the big smile on his face there, and it was great because that really cemented the game then. And then City did what City did. I'd love to see from the goal, the stats in relation to the passes that they kept. It was incredible. It was probably around, it would have been over 80% possession since, when Haaland scored, and that's what City do. They completely nullify the opposition and suffocate the game, and they were brilliant in the way they saw it out. And they did see it out 2-0 to City today. We now have 6 days off, which feels insane at this point of the season. So 6 days for a poorly Phil Foden, a poorly Ruben Diaz to get well. Big get well soon to them. 6 days until City take on Wolves. That is a game that is at home. It's a 5:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Curle will be in the studio alongside Sean Wright-Phillips, Jolien, and you're back, Keith. You've also got 6 days off. Please keep fit for next Saturday. We'll see you then as well. So Wolves, how important though, Keith, is that 6 days off at this point of the season, considering, as we say, Foden and Diaz have both been ill today?
Yeah, definitely. I think they go through the stats. The players that have played the majority of the minutes, I won't be surprised if they get 3 days off. They'll probably be in tomorrow, then they'll have rest days, and then they come in and then they do the prep work that's needed to prepare for the game. But your rest at this stage of the season for the players that have been playing the minutes, vitally important as well. And the message will be, it's not just about it's days off, it's about you are resting and recovering, which means then so you're not out and you're not partying, you're not shopping, you're not on the golf course. It's one of those, you are recuperating and resting and recharging your batteries for the push-in.
Mid-table finish for Wolves this season. Recently, they beat Luton this weekend, were beaten by Bournemouth midweek, were beaten by Arsenal last week. It's a bit of an up-and-down season for them, but I'm sure they'll be happy with a good mid-table finish. What sort of game are you going to be expecting from them?
Well, they beat us. You know.
At Molineux, they did. Andy, I was blocking that out.
So they'll believe, you know, that they have a system and a way of nullifying City and obviously causing them problems in possession of the ball. But, you know, I know I'm stating the obvious now, but that's huge today for momentum. You know, for two, as Keith said earlier on, two tough away games, close together, 6 points. And, you know, going into that now, you'd like to think that with, as you've just spoke about there, with players coming back in, with Phil, you know, player of the season for me, coming back in, John Stones on the bench, so there's mixtures. There's, you know, we can re-energise the team with the squad and use that. And you know, I think we'll if we're at our best and we play to what we can do, we win the title. It's as simple as that.
Oh, Andy. Oh, crikey. 4 games left, 4 wins, and we'll win the title. Oh, my goodness. Not the only title that City are going for this season as well, because we are in the FA Youth Cup final. Our Premier League stars of the future, you get to see them all before we're raving about them in years to come. You could say, I saw them first. I pointed him out. I knew he was going to be a superstar in the future. City take on Leeds. It's the Under-18s FA Youth Cup final. It's here at the Etihad Stadium. It is Friday the 10th of May, a 7 p.m. kickoff. I will be there. Can highly recommend, if you can get down, to come and support our Under-18s. It's just £3 for an adult and £1 for a child. So it's a perfect chance to get down, watch a game at the Etihad this season. We will see you there. Really, really looking forward to that one. Gents, thank you very much. Andy, thank you for being here today. Thank you very much, Keith. We'll see you again on Saturday. We'll see you very soon as well, I'm sure, Andy. And thank you all for joining us on Matchday Live today, on a day where Pep Guardiola had his 300th game in charge in the Premier League for City, where Bernardo Silva had his 350th game for City, and where City went 19 games unbeaten in the Premier League to close the gap to just 1 point on Arsenal. We now have another game for you this evening as City women are taking on Bristol in the WSL. Full match commentary is available on the Manchester City app. If you are not currently watching on the Manchester City app, switch over to there now to get your full commentary on that game. City currently sitting top of the WSL. It is very tight. Their season ends on the 18th of May. If they win all their games and Chelsea win all theirs, it's going to go down to goal difference. So we'll be hoping for a few goals this evening against Bristol. So full match commentary on the app now. Thank you again for joining us. We will be back with you on Saturday for Matchday Live.